Welcome back to Coldfire Role-Playing Games. Today we want to talk to you about our role-playing game, Ter'Ra'Mentia. It's a brand new game. We're going to have a Kickstarter out September 15th. Subscribe and follow us here on YouTube to keep up to date. We're going to put up one video a week talking about the different aspects, lore of the game, and the most exciting part, the playable classes. There's also links below to our other social media websites where you could also stay up to date. Ter'Ra'Mentia was in chaos in ancient times, as the elemental and demonic nether realms were not completely separate from the mundane world. It was difficult for civilization to grow, while many other races struggled against otherworldly forces to survive. The leaders of the elven Vikina rallied the Savan, Terra Mortals, Tribal Mortals, Axian, Draconum, and their cousins, the Vikasha, against the Nether Realms. A large sect of Draconum who worshipped the Nether Realms resisted. Not wanting to give up their power, they summoned entities from these other planes of existence. In order to fight back against the separatist Draconum, the Great Protectorate dragons came to the aid of the early alliance of the Ter'Ramentian races, led by the mightiest of them all, Valixar, a gold dragon. The alliance was too much for the defecting Draconum, and they eventually retreated to their homeland of the colossal Salt Rise. Unfortunately, the conflict took a heavy toll that resulted in the last of the Great Protectorate dragons sacrificing themselves to help the coalition of races create the 5 magical tenets. These tenets are the Sun, Jade, Shadow, Flaming, and Azure tenets. These magical focal points of energy containing pieces of dragon souls help hold back the netherworlds and keep the mundane plane intact. Each is kept in one of the 5 major fortresses: the Solar, Azure, Sage, Midnight, and Flaming fortresses. In Axia City, where the Midnight Fortress lies, is where the Shadow tenet is held and looked over by the Axian people. The Vikasha and Savan guard the Jade tenet within the trees of the Shifting Wilds at the Sage Fortress. The Draconum that did not defect and their fabled Flame Wardens see to the Flaming tenet in their fortress, near Dragonport. The Vikina, under the guidance of the Solar Queen, see to the Sun tenet in Sunflow City at the Solar Temple. The Vikina-led Council of Winter Mages protects the Azure tenet in Azure City. After these events, the Solar King, the leader of the Vikina at the time, assumed power through charisma, his connection to the Gold Dragons, and vigilant leadership during the crisis. The seat of power in Ter'Ra'Mentia has been in Sunflow City ever since. The tribal mortals of Ter'Ra'Mentia, humans, hold no ill will toward the other races, but wish to continue their nomadic lifestyle under their own rule while traversing the Sea of Hope desert in the colossal Salt Rise. In recent history, dragons have been a rarity and no longer protect the skies as they once did. Instead, this duty is now tasked to the Solar Queen's fleet of airships, whose technology came from off-world by a powerful mage. More and more magic has been flowing into the mundane world at an alarming rate, reminiscent of the days of old. Chaos encroaches as simultaneous events have taken place that are shaping the destiny of the world. The 2 major events that are affecting the world currently are as follows. The Draconum armies from the Colossal Salt Rise have come down into Ter'Ra'Mentia and partially sacked Sunflow City and made their way to the gates of the Solar Temple, where the tenet of the sun is kept. The mighty Solar Guardians held their ground alongside Solar Witches to keep the Draconum at bay, until a force of Axian Shadow Templars from the Midnight Fortress arrived to support Sunflow City and its occupants. The Draconum were pushed back into the foothills below Colossal Salt Rise, where a new encampment is now located that holds the line against their invaders. Sunflow City was easily sacked due to the fact that the Solar Queen had sent the Royal Navy and most of her army to the Azure Fisher event in the southeast. A devastating event tore open the earth, spanning the narrow stretch of land that leads to the Snare Sea Range on a peninsula where the Azure Fortress and city are located. Messengers have not returned from the Flaming or Sage fortresses after seeking aid for Sunflow City. Nether creatures now start to roam the lands, and morale is low. Strange magic portals pour into the world, and demons and oddities along with them. This is why the Solar Queen is holding a tournament of games to celebrate the Draconum being pushed back to the Steaming Hills and the Ravaged Prominence, where they're held at bay. Morale needs to be brought up, because all is not well, and nefarious forces are certainly at play. But the populace must be given hope and confidence. They have earned a small celebration, while their leaders plan for an impending second Draconum invasion to repel. Thank you for joining us for this brief look at the ancient history of Ter'Ra'Mentia and the state of the world that it's in today. Next week, we're going to dive into a little bit of the character sheet and hopefully some of the races as well, going a little bit deeper there. So thank you again for your support. Please follow us. We'll keep you up to date every week on what's happening leading up to our Kickstarter September 15th. Thank you so much.